hear it all the time, don't we? We want free housing, free healthcare, free education, free water, free electricity.
I represent a political party, and we stand firm. We fight for free higher education to junior degree, or what you call until first degree. And I sit here representing the EFF, and I am not going to be overwhelmed by your words. We stand for that, and that's what exactly we will fight for.
But let's get one thing straight. There is no such thing as free anything. Not electricity, not water, not healthcare, not housing, not education. These so-called free services cost South Africa billions every single year. Why? Because most of them are heavily subsidized by the government. But please do not be fooled. When we say government, we're not talking about Cyril Ramaphosa or Fikile Mbalula pulling money out of their own wallets. No, that money comes from us, ordinary South Africans, through VAT, income tax, fuel levy, sin taxes, and more. So, no, it is not free. It is paid for, just not always by the people who benefit directly from it.
I mean, it's 49 years since the 1976 generation fought for free education. Me and you sitting here and Tara, joining live, we can agree that quality, decolonized, free education is far from being achieved. And that is because young people are not being put in these rooms.
You think just because you call it free, it actually is free? You think it simply falls from the skies or grows on trees? You think by calling it your human rights, it magically appears? Guys, get it through your heads. None of these things are actually free. Demanding free things does not mean that no one pays for them. It simply means that you don't pay for them, or you don't want to pay for them, and the government should go and force other citizens to pay for things that you want. So when someone shouts free, what they really mean is make someone else pay for it. When you shout free, it means you want the government to take money from someone else, someone who works, someone who builds, someone who contributes, and then give it to you. Roads must fall, fees must fall, and then you demand that you should be allowed to dictate the future of this country by being placed into high-ranking positions in government.
So as young people, we need to ensure that we do show face, but also showing face from us is not enough. We need to have those who are decision makers, government, even business, supporting young people. And by doing so, they need to ensure that all activities, including this eminent group, young people must be 50% plus one. That shows that you have a foresight of what the outcomes of this national dialogue is going to be in the next 10, 15, 20 years.
Really? You want to run billion-dollar institutions when you have a mindset that is entitled to other people's hard-earned money? Let me remind you, universities don't run on vibes. Someone must pay for the lecturers and the cleaning staff salaries. Someone must pay for the textbooks, the computers, the lab equipment, the toilet rolls, the papers, the Wi-Fi. Someone must pay for that water and electricity that you are using in the university. And if you don't pay for all of these, someone else does. And when enough people don't pay, the entire system collapses. That's why the country is malfunctioning right now, because the budget is being drained by political promises instead of productive investments.
We announced a plan for fee-free higher education for students from poor and working class backgrounds.
That was followed recently by a call from EFF leader Julius Malema for all former matriculants who could not afford university fees in the past to report to the academic institution of their choice this year. But Universities South Africa has called his comments reckless. It says that applications have already closed.
Every rand spent on free education is a rand not spent on fixing potholes, hiring nurses, police officers and teachers, building roads, bridges, power stations, improving safety and service delivery. The laziest and most incompetent, most unskilled people in the country are often the loudest in demanding free things. These are people who have no clue how to grow an economy, but they feel entitled to the wealth produced by others. South Africa is becoming a nation where consumption is glorified, but contribution is simply optional. And that, fellow citizens, is very dangerous. Let's talk about the NSFAS or the education problem. Instead of building technical colleges, vocational centers, and skills-based training centers that can actually create jobs and solve real problems, the government is burning billions through NSFAS, funding degrees in political studies, gender studies, and race theory that do almost nothing to advance the country.
The humanities, for example, let's be honest about these sort of things. Many degrees, like a political science degree, for example, I will not employ such a person because I don't have any need for such a person. But there is actually a scarcity of, for example, drone electricians or drone pilots or geneticists or people with artisan skills like that. There's a huge shortage of that.
Someone went to study mathematics, others went and became doctors in medicine, some went and became engineers, plumbers, electricians. They went and opened and started businesses. When you went to school through NSFAS, got your gender sciences and political sciences degree, you never paid back the money that funded you, and you think you have the right to start demanding free things from the rest of the workers in society? Learn to be a contributor, not just an entitled consumer. Instead of taking and taking and taking some more, take the time to understand what it takes to grow the pie. Now, before you come for me with, but what about the previously disadvantaged students? Yes, they deserve opportunities, but why is the only answer NSFAS? Why aren't we encouraging bursaries, scholarships, and academic excellence? Why aren't we teaching them that those who work hard and excel are rewarded? Instead, we're grooming a culture of entitlement. People who studied for free, never paid back a cent, and then demand even more from society. Jobs in government, leadership roles, and endless subsidies. If we are going to pay for someone's education, let's pay for the ones who do exceptionally well in mathematical, scientific, and engineering-related qualifications. Let's pay for boiler makers, electricians, engineers, and robotics students. Let's pay for the skills that we actually need as a nation.
But we have to shift the emphasis in South Africa and start producing the kind of skills that we really, really need. Everybody wants to go to university because it's good and it's fancy to have a degree, but we have to realize that is not necessarily what the economy requires. And in the meantime, we've got shortages of many of the other skills that I've mentioned already.
All right.
And still, those people should be required to pay back the money once they are done with their degrees and various certifications. If not monetarily, then through their services. Just like bursary companies demand that their students work for them for a certain period, one way or another, the students that we fund through NSFAS must pay up what they owe to our society. NSFAS is spending millions to create more communists and more activists who chant about dropping fees and burning statues, but do nothing to rebuild the country. In case you don't know, the ANC was fighting very hard to raise that VAT to 2% a few weeks ago. Why do you think the ANC was trying to do that? Because they want to fund the free stuff. Free this and free that needs to be paid. Meanwhile, the roads, the schools, the clinics, hospitals keep falling apart. So don't complain about the police not doing their jobs. Don't complain about the few nurses, doctors, and teachers, because while the ANC loots some of our money, loads of that money is going to the freebies that the government dishes out to you.
While the start of the school year is a joyful time for both pupils and parents, the excitement has been dampened at Relebogile Secondary School in Carletonville, where an enormous sinkhole that swallowed parts of the school still remains. It's been almost a year since the sinkhole formed, and parents have told Eyewitness News that they don't believe it will be repaired anytime soon. Their children have been attending classes from a separate location opposite the school, where the Gauteng Education Department built mobile classrooms. The massive sinkhole seems to have grown deeper since Eyewitness News reported it in April last year.
We're watching our schools, our hospitals, power stations, police services fall apart while people who contribute nothing keep demanding more and more. Instead of employing more police or building more infrastructure, if the money is not looted, it pays for a social sciences degree at UNISA.
I'm the secretary of my youth activity movement. Remove modern 15 road rituology in a response to a statement that was taken out by City Power yesterday on the 29th of June. And the statement said City Power to give us service up until we meet their demand, which is normalization and making sure my electricity. So we are here as Baduduba Maibuye to come and give our disputation and our concern to say we have been 5 days since no electricity and City Power must come here and service our people.
Free stuff does not exist. Just stop lying to our people. Stop demanding positions in government when you have no clue what you're talking about.
Comfort, we've seen both yourself and Tara, right, talking a lot about the issues around transformation, but transformation on the terms of young people. How do young people set those terms in South Africa? Are they centered in South Africa's transformation conversation? Are they at the places where policy and decisions are being made?
Thank you so much. And I think it's a very important question. And the answer to that is no. And not because young people are not actively in those spaces or do not want to be in those spaces. I think the system is segregating young people to be there. When you look at this eminent group, young people are a small percentage of representation there, which then limits the voice of young people and the issues that they are facing. Iman, there are quite a number of organizations that are championing young people issues, even transformation issues, including the BMF, you've got SAYEC, you've got She Leads. My friends Tembiso Tabula and I started an organization called Aben Mogodu Monday. It's a movement of young professionals that gather every Monday, not only to diagnose the problems that we have, but to also provide solutions.
Are you in the national dialogue?
Not yet. And that is the point where I'm going to, that such groups, when you actually exclude them in the national dialogue, then you limit the voice that represents some fractions of the professionals and the young people who are in different spaces.
Learn how the world works and gain experience before you start making demands with your communist degrees. Fellow citizens, please let us just stop this madness. I want us to know 4 things. 1, if we are going to fund education, let's fund skills that we actually need. The boiler makers, electricians, engineers, and doctors. 2, let's require accountability. Either pay back what you owe or serve the country in return. 3, let's stop giving positions in government to people with 0 experience and ideology-driven degrees. Learn how the world works before you try to lead it. And 4, let's teach people to build, not just consume, to pay tax, not just use taxes paid by others. Free electricity, free water, free housing, free education. You've been promised it all. And the result? Laziness, dependency, corruption, and no progress. Not just no progress in your life, but no progress in our nation. After graduating, stop complaining and start building and be a taxpayer. Stop being a tax consumer like the politicians. Politicians are useless people in our society. They eat and eat and eat, and yet they create nothing. Many of our people in South Africa are exactly like that, always eating the products of other people's sweat. Free electricity, free water, free education. Give me, give me, give me. Fellow citizens, the truth is simple. If you're not a contributor, you're just another consumer. And a country full of consumers will always collapse under the weight of its own entitlement. Anyway, that's it for today. Please share this video with the young people who believe in free education and the old people who believe in free housing, free water, and free electricity. Let's create a South Africa full of contributors and not merely consumers. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Katlego. This is Citizen Concerned. And until next time, beware of the comrades.